Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome to the War Room. This War Room, what have I been up to the last week? Well, I had a very interesting meeting. I had an interesting meeting with a friend from India. Of course, being in the Netherlands, she is extremely far away from me. And she had to come over for a business meeting that lasted about a day. So in the evening, I finally got to meet her. Been interacting with her online for months. I think it was about a year now. We did an online course together, and it's just so good to finally meet someone when you've been in contact with them forever. So that prompted me to have a look into what countries I would want to visit and meeting up with you guys, because by now I have a pretty decent subscriber base and I would love to meet you guys. So let me know in the comments where you are in the world, and I'll see when I pop by and get to hang out with you guys. Aside from that, I built a standing desk. If this is something that you're not familiar with, normally you have a desk where you sit down, of course, but lately there's a sort of, let's say, movement that has figured out that sitting down all day is not per se a good thing for your posture. It's going to impact your posture in a bad way, and if you stand up more, you're going to have a lot more calories burned, you're going to be having better posture, and of course all of this is going to contribute in the long term. Now, if you're interested, I have put up a picture of my standing desk in the description down below, so you can see my, let's call it YouTube studio at work. Of course, it's just my regular working desk as well, but I'm really happy with it. It's not your average type of standing desk, in the sense that it's not actually a standing desk by design. It's something that's called IKEA hacking, where you have one specific, or actually multiple specific parts that you just combine into one desk or one new object that is not specifically designed for that purpose. And that's exactly what I did. I took the entire Saturday to relocate everything in the living room together with my girlfriend, or fiancée by this stage I should say. I'm still getting used to that. It was a huge mess. It really was. But after, I think, 8 or 9 hours of work, it finally all settled into place, and I finally got this thing done. So now I have a standing desk, and no, I'm not going to be standing all day long. I have a bar stool here, so that I don't have to tire up my feet the whole day, which by itself would not be a good idea, because of course I'm still doing Insanity, and that's coming up this week as well. I'm looking into phase 2 right now, which supposedly is one of the most difficult phases that you can go through in Insanity. If you're not familiar with Insanity, by the way, it's a workout program. It is one of the supposedly toughest workout programs on DVD. And this means that you really have to work hard. This month, the Insanity program is going to last, I think, an hour per day of very intense workouts. So that is going to be what's coming up for me this week. Especially today, I'm a bit anxious about it. I have what's called the fit test, where you just have to go all the way to the max of your ability and get as many exercises done in the span of, I believe, 8 different exercises in separate minutes. And then there's something that's called max, which is it today? Max interval something? Max cardio circuit? Yeah, max interval circuit. So I'm going to be doing a lot of interval training today. What I've also been doing last week is going to Toastmasters. This is an organization worldwide that focuses on public speaking, and how you can improve your skill in that field. Now, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of public speaking, because I have been doing it quite a lot lately, and although usually in advance I'm quite worried about it, when I'm actually out there speaking, I'm not so worried. I just do it. I just speak, and something useful tends to come out of my mouth. A bit like YouTubing, really. Slightly different. Anyway, I went to Toastmasters, which is the organization that specifies or specializes in training that up. And it's a really fun concept. If you want to meet interesting new people and have a great time, that is usually in the evening. It lasts about 90 minutes, a little more usually. And in that time you get all sorts of different speeches, usually 3 or 4 different speeches that only last 6 to 7 minutes. There's a really strict time constraint because, as the title implies, Toastmasters is focused around making you a master in toasts. That's how it originally started. So, let's say doing a toast for a birthday, doing a toast for a wedding, whatever. If you want to get better at that, or better at public speaking in general, be sure to check them out, because I definitely had a lot of fun. Especially with improv rounds, so improvisation rounds. And these are rounds where you suddenly get an assignment, like, what was one of the things that I had this week? Oh yeah, I had one that said, okay, look, you are now a yogi master, so one of these meditation experts. And you're going to have to convince the crowd of something that's called tea meditation. And the entire crowd was like, what? Yes, tea meditation is the meditation, I kid you not, of slowly sipping your tea. It's supposedly a very real thing, and it's something I had never heard of, let alone the guy who got the assignment. So he really had to think about that, and you don't really get a lot of time to think about it, because you're just on stage, you're up there, and you have to just do it already. Now, hang on as I whack this guy. Playing Crossout in the background, in case you haven't noticed. This actually character is... Whoa! Jesus, that was uncalled for. Come on. That was me. Oh well. Anyway, Toastmasters. I'm definitely going to join that program, just because there's all sorts of interesting people you can meet, and it's combining learning and meeting new people, which I find a very, very interesting combination. So, Toastmasters, also a link to that in the description if you want to have a look at that, and possibly join up as well. This week, as mentioned, I have more Insanity coming up, more Insanity workouts, so I'm probably going to be sore all week. Combine that with a standing desk, and I may just have made a horrible mistake. But, of course, there's also something coming up on the channel, more Crossout. In case you haven't been watching these videos, Crossout is a game by Gaijin Entertainment, which, yes, is the same studio that created War Thunder. And your purpose here is to build a vehicle. Let me just return to the garage so I can show you. Here, this is my... What should we call this one? The last one I called a gun buggy. This one is just... I don't know, let's call it the derp truck. Let's just call it the derp truck. 76mm gun on the front, shotgun turret up on the hood of the vehicle, and it's just a really long vehicle to withstand the blast of that gun. Anyway, not to turn this into a Crossout video. Crossout is a game where you just build your own vehicle and then slug it out with other vehicles. It reminds me a little bit of BattleBots, in case you remember that. Anyway, I got more of Crossout coming up, I got more of Wargame Red Dragon coming up, and probably more World of Warships, although I haven't gotten a very good review or replay for you guys yet. So that's going to be coming up soon. Now I wanted to go over some of the questions that I got, and not only the questions but also the feedback that you guys gave, and that was really, really valuable. Tim Tunsing said a couple days ago, maybe you can combine your business with your remarkable English skills. Thank you for that compliment right away. Make an offer to anyone who is about to deal with native speakers and call it How to Survive Conversation with Native English Speakers in Business or something. I really like that idea. I hadn't actually considered it, but I think I can really help people out with that as well. So I'll definitely look into that, see if any of those services are being offered. And if they are being offered, that means that yes, there is a demand for it. So I'll have a look at that. Freedom Michael said, hey Stealth, what kind of game genres are you into? Do you like a grand strategy, and what are the game genres you dislike to play? I usually play strategy games, so Wargame Red Dragon. I believe I'm, what is it, currently 1100 hours into that. I mean, a lot of that is spent talking for YouTube videos, watching your replays, recording your replays, deck reviews, etc. But still, there's a lot of time in that game. And aside from that, strategy, I suppose you could call these, what shall we call this genre? Crafting games? Sandbox games, maybe? Anyway, these games where you have to build your own vehicle and then see if they are in fact tough enough to either slug it out, make it into space in the case of Kerbal Space Program, or for example, one of the previous games that I covered, Robocraft. Whoa, that was close. It's a bit similar to this game. Those games where you just have the freedom to build, the freedom to create, and have fun with your units that way. I really, really enjoy that type of game. So that's something that I'll definitely be playing more of. Aside from that, the grand strategy games, I'm thinking he's referring to games such as Empire Total War. I do enjoy those. I just find that they sometimes tend to take too long. They just take up a lot of your time. Jesus, guys, let me just shoot you in the face. They tend to take too much of your time, and that means that it's a big time investment. Wow, I really suck at this game today. It's a big time investment, and that means that you're not going to be playing different games. And I usually enjoy switching from one game to the next. So, lately, this weekend, I've been playing a lot of Crossout. I've been doing a bit of recording for the Wargame campaign series. And stuff like that tends to have a little bit of a flavor of the month, or a flavor of the week. For example, last week I was playing a whole lot of World of Warships. Sometimes I really enjoy it, and other days I'm going like, Jesus, this is a long grind. I don't want to play this anymore. And then I just find something else to play. So, let's say strategy games in general. Strategy games, maybe strategy games where you build something, if you would call those strategy games. First-person shooters to some extent, although not really competitive first-person shooters. I just find that I'm not that good at them. I'm not fast enough, and while I am competitive, I consider myself competitive in gaming, I don't always enjoy getting killed right off the bat. Pretty much like this game, really, where I have been getting killed a lot. And let's see, other games that I play. I have to look up it on my Steam library. I think the most played games are not X Rebirth, that thing was absolutely atrocious. X3 The Threat, or X3 Turn Conflict, which is a space game. I played a whole lot of Kerbal Space Program, I played a lot of World of Tanks. I have, God, what was it, about 21,000 games in that, I think? So, that is something that I really sunk a lot of time into. What I have found as a common ground between the titles that I enjoy is that they all have something to strive for. And by that I mean is that they all have something that you can look forward to unlocking. World of Warships, for example. You can look forward to unlocking a different module for your ship. You can look forward to unlocking a different ship altogether, a different tech tree. Same for Armored Warfare. That is something that I used to look forward to. I used to look forward to unlocking new vehicles until I got a press account, which of course was my own mistake. And then I didn't have that element of, let's say, a challenge anymore. Meaning that all of a sudden it just did not have the same appeal that it did. And this means that the grinding of it, as long as the grind isn't too long, is really appealing. I really enjoy those. Again, provided that the grind isn't too long. Kerbal Space Program has its own grind. This game has a grind. Wargame does not have a grind, I suppose. Maybe a different kind of grind. But again, it is quite competitive. Could you just give it a rest? Yes, coming close. Oh crap, that was so much for my main gun. Other games I sunk a lot of time into. I tend to enjoy those, what should we call them? Economic strategy games, maybe? Where you're managing a company or you're managing something that, let's say a business that you want to expand, such as in the X series of games, no, not online, the space games that you can play that way. So stuff like that is definitely something that I enjoy. Let me flip this guy up. Other things that were mentioned last week, or sorry, stuff that I dislike. The first-person shooters, as mentioned, I don't particularly like those, although I do play Fallout every now and then. Oh, XCOM 2, of course. XCOM and XCOM 2, again, strategy games combined with an element of grinding and unlocking specific new tech. Anyway, back to the questions. Hula Deck says, problem is, who is successful doesn't need your service, and who does need it is not successful and won't have the money for it. I would go with mid-level managers. They might have the money and they want to get more. Top-level managers don't want more, probably full of themselves already, or already know this stuff. And he's referring to the body language. Yeah, he's probably right. But usually in the Netherlands, most of the company training is trained or is paid for by the company itself. So that is fortunate for me in that way. Pedro Ramos said, about target audience, just make an assumption, and if you're going to fail, fail fast. Read stuff about the lean startup. It really focuses on solving problems that you have. Yep, that is definitely something that I want to work on. And I have been looking for meetup groups that are more entrepreneur focused. And these groups are probably going to link me up with other founders as well, so that I can try and find some more people to work with, in the sense of starting a business together or coming up with business ideas together. So that is definitely something that I'm looking into. And as for the failing fast part, I have definitely considered that, and I consider that I might not be failing fast enough with the body language thing. I haven't set a, how shall we call it, a failure date, which is if you're gonna fail, or if it's not working by this date, either change something or make sure that you just abandon the idea altogether and try and look for something different that might work. And that is something that is definitely something that you need to do. It's just I don't really feel like giving up yet, especially with the body language thing. It has been providing some money, good money every now and then, I gotta say that. If you do get a job, you do get paid very well. So that is something that I'm trying to regain, something I'm trying to achieve again. It's just that I'm not exactly sure how to get more clients, and that's where everything usually goes to shit. Anyway, that pretty much concludes this week's War Room. As mentioned, what you can expect this week from me on the channel is Crossouts, Wargame Red Dragon. I'm going to continue with the campaign. More on that tomorrow, so that'll be Tuesday, 3rd of May. And maybe some more World of Warships, but I'll see about that. For now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for another Crossout video today. Thanks for watching. Have a good week. See you soon.